Hello and welcome back to Manifesting with the Moon. I am Kristy Sturdivant and I am here with Stephanie Cartwright, and we are going to be talking about this new moon happening tonight in the sign of Pisces. Whew, and there's a lot of other cosmic energy going on right now. How are you feeling at the moment, Stephanie?
My emotions are going a little bit like the clappers. They are going non-stop. They seem to be just as one thing surfacing and bubbling up, then there's another one coming up behind it. My world around me, my children are more emotional. My husband is more emotional. It just feels like big emotions, new moon in Pisces. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but they're certainly all at the surface.
It's kind of intense. There's a lot going on, right? We have the new moon in Pisces. It's moving into Aries, which I feel is always like a really intense shift, right? From going from this emotional watery sign to the fire sign. And then let's see, on Friday, we are entering, no, yeah, Thursday or Friday, we are entering into the sign of Aries. Mercury retrograde is ending. We are dealing with the spring equinox. And then there's just a lot of going on. A lot. Oh,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
did
the
you
end
say
of
it was the end of
eclipse.
equinox? Yeah, did you say it
Yes.
was the end of the eclipse season as
Yes.
well?
You're right. It's the end of the eclipse. So it's been a lot of stuff like culminating that's happening this week. And it kind of feels like I have been swimming in all of these like really choppy waters, and like I'm kind of sort of I can see like the sun at the surface of the water that I'm moving towards.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
intense.
that feels like a nice one. I was thinking it kind of feels like I've been, you know how like mud in water and then you stir it up and it's just all really, really cloudy and you can't see through it. It kind of
Yes.
feels like that. I'm feeling quite shaken up and all stirred up. And I guess there's a really great thing about this is what it does is it allows for the heavy stuff that no longer really is significant. It kind of drops the bottom fairly quickly. You know this stuff, it drops the bottom. But then there's this other fine stuff that's there. And I guess this is where it's our opportunity to really just focus on, you know, we can see it now because we've been given a stir. Um, do we need to start clearing out some of this sludgy stuff that's been in the bottom? Or actually, is it part of who we are? And we just have to recognize this is part of who we are and accept, actually, sometimes I do get a little bit low, sad, anxious, whatever that emotion might be. And actually, I just need to, instead of fight it, I need to create some space for this. I need to create that silence. For instance, some people who are sad, I'll give that as an example, love, for if they're sad, they're almost like their way out is to connect with others. But for some people who are sad, actually, their answer isn't connecting with others. That would be too much. For them, it's actually withdrawing and having stillness and just being able to, for instance, read a book or listen to some music. It's not actually about focusing on other people or getting involved in conversation. For them, it's work out what's right for us. I think this is the key thing with all of this moon energy. And with a new moon energy, this is about where you want to go. So this is where you recognize what's all swelling around and go, what of this do I really, how am I going to use this and where do I want to go with it? What can I shift out? And focus on the right stuff,
Ooh,
I guess.
yes, I agree. It's interesting as you were saying this, the word patterns keep coming into me, and I have noticed in the last couple of years specifically that this is kind of like the time of year where I have that patterns like resurfacing. And sometimes I have looked at patterns as like, oh my gosh, I need to break this pattern. It's no good for me. But I think you also need to kind of look at it as like, this is a pattern that I can maybe lean into a little bit more. Maybe it's not like necessarily a pattern that is something that I need to break. Maybe it's part of my cycle. And maybe this is just
Yeah.
like this is my personal rhythm, right? And maybe I have been
Hmm.
kind of like, ooh, I don't like that rhythm or this part of my rhythm, but maybe this is also a really good time to like look at it and be like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I can embrace it a little bit more, especially when it's around emotions and stuff, right? Like it's
Yeah.
sometimes it's really hard to find ways to move those emotions through our body, and this could be a really good time to like recognize what emotions tend to come up in this Pisces new moon and how you have maybe dealt with them in the past or how you want to choose to move with them in the future and like kind of move them a little bit more efficiently. Because patterns are not always bad. Like sometimes they
No.
can be not great, but sometimes they are kind of just little nudges like, hey, keep moving. Don't resist.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I think one of the things that with the whole manifesting that there's really, for me in particular, this new moon has come up is around phrasing. So one of the things that I've got a medical procedure next week and I am feeling a bit scared, a bit nervous, a bit anxious. And I am thinking to myself, I mustn't feel anxious. I mustn't feel nervous. Instead of going, I want to feel calm. I want to feel peaceful. I want to be open to acceptance. And this for me is a really good example of how we kind of can mess up manifesting in that we really focus on what we don't want instead of focusing on what we do want. So the process with the new moon and manifesting is really that work on what you don't want, like I've just listed, but then work on what you do want, because that's where we're putting our energy. So with the new moon energy, I need to be focusing on the calm, the acceptance, maybe something like serenity, maybe even joy. Maybe it would be rest. Really think about what do I want after this medical procedure? How do I want to feel? How do I want to focus? All of those sorts of things, rather than I don't want to feel scared. I don't want to feel upset. I don't want to feel sad. No, that's not the way we're manifesting. Put your energy in that, you're going to get more of it. So put your energy over here, what you do want. Would you say you have to go through this sorting out?
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's very difficult when you do have some kind of like something that's going on with your body that's kind of out of your control. And well, at least, your immediate control, like you can help yourself energetically. But even then, like there's always that feeling of unknown. I actually went through this a couple of weeks ago too with a medical procedure, and I did my best to like, okay, just stay calm, but it's difficult, right? Because our bodies, even though they are part of us, like they're very important and you don't realize it
Yeah.
until sometimes until it's like right there in your face, and it can like cause a lot of anxiety. And so focusing on the future is a lot more difficult to actually implement sometimes,
Mm,
but it is a
yeah.
very good practice. So, have you found any like particular techniques or exercises or anything that's helping you move through this and like kind of focus on what you're trying to manifest versus staying in that?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do tonight with the new moon is I'm going to write a set of affirmations for I am full of acceptance. I trust things will go smoothly. I am bringing calm into my life. All of those things. So I'm going to write my affirmations tonight that all tie with the new moon energy. I also want to do it because with Pisces energy, doing things creatively feels nice. So maybe it's not just the writing, because obviously writing's a nice creative process, but maybe I do it and then maybe I do some doodle art, sort of like write my affirmations, but over again in a nice spiral or turn them into flowers or I create something and then integrate the words because I think doing things creatively under a Pisces moon helps almost like helps us embody a bit more of that energy.
Yes, I think that's a really good idea. That's a actually a brilliant idea. And I think that when you are in this like state of a little bit of anxiety or nervousness or whatever, I think affirmations are a really good thing to go back to just because it's almost like it's automatic. Like you say it a
Mm,
couple times and then you just start repeating it, and it feels like, well, I'm not really putting a whole lot of intention to it. I'm just repeating it. But that's kind of how our subconscious minds work, right? We don't necessarily have to believe it every single time we say it, but our brains are
yeah.
still hearing it and they're like, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. And then you finally, eventually, your brain's like, okay, I got it already. And it starts tipping and helping you go into that direction. So I have feel like I've had this love-hate relationship with affirmations over the years because I'm like, do they really work? But in situations like this, when I am like literally trying to like talk myself out of a very intense, anxious emotion, affirmations are perfect. And like writing them
Yes.
out and doing something creative with them, it just makes them even more powerful and it really cements them inside of your brain. So
Mm,
it's a great practice, especially under the
yeah.
new moon.
Yeah. And I think, you know, anything to do with creativity, if people want to put a little picture of anything that they do in amongst the chat, you know, I think that there's the ability to do that as well, isn't there? So do
Mhm.
that too.
Yes, anything you can do to like be creative and get more in your energy and body, I think is always a really good thing to do,
Mm,
especially when you have all of these very intense swirling energies around, right? Because we're not just taking in um, our energies and like our immediate family energies, we are taking in like the collective energies. I have been having a lot of really weird dreams at night. I'm a major dreamer, but I have been waking up like, whoa, that's a lot. What's going on? And I know it's not all mine. So
hmm. Yeah.
it can feel a little bit intense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that this is the thing, isn't it? We are affected by other people's energy that's around us. And if they're going through a little bit of chaos or they're going through a little bit of intensity, then clearly that is going to have a knock-on effect because we're all energetic beings. No.
Yes.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
anyways, new
So what about
moon.
you, Chris? Well, what about you, Kristy? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do anything for your new moon tonight?
I am definitely going to journal, and I think I'm going to take some time also to art journal. I feel like um, I'm really leaning in right now in my life into symbols because symbols are a really great way for your brain to just kind of like easily, quickly latch onto as opposed to words. I'm usually a very verbose and wordy person, right? So I like a good affirmation and I like a good quote and everything, but symbols are a little bit more quick and powerful. And so I think I might come up with some kind of symbol for this new moon
Hmm,
just so I can kind of like really cement it into my subconsciousness. And usually when I do that, I like come up with a symbol and then I like doodle it all over a page. And then I doodle
what a
it
great
again in a
idea.
different color.
Yeah.
And then like if I'm getting really creative, maybe I'll like tear it up and like put it in a collage or in my art journal or something, but it kind of just
Hmm.
like helps cement it in.
Yeah. Sounds great. I
Yeah.
shall look forward to seeing that.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
It'll be an exciting creation. So, yes, if anyone is having any issues dealing with any of these things or having a hard time coming up with an affirmation, because I do feel like sometimes affirmations are difficult to come up
Hmm.
with because you want to make sure that you phrase them correctly because you don't want to put certain words in there that's going to have your subconscious mind latch onto, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want to put anxiety or debt or anything super negative. You want to make sure that it's really positive. So if you are having difficulty coming up with affirmations, drop that in the comments below too, because I'm really good at like rephrasing. How about you, Steph? I've gotten
You are,
a lot of practice.
I would have to say you are very good at rephrasing and making sure that they very much are in the I am in the present moment and owning it yourself. So yeah, definitely stick it in the comments and Kristy or I will be more than happy to help.
Absolutely. Because a good affirmation can really raise your vibration and get you through the day.
Yeah, I
It's a good
agree.
thing to
I agree.
good thing to hold on to. So I think
Yeah.
that is all I have for this new moon. How about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, absolutely. Just to go out and enjoy it. Maybe spend some time if it's warmed up a little bit near you, really just sort of like soaking it in and enjoy being in touch with that lovely energy.
Absolutely. And we will see you guys for the full moon in, oh my gosh. Oh no, yeah, in just a couple weeks. It's
Yes,
going so
2 weeks
fast.
time.
2 weeks time. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.